I have this idea of 1 to 99 thinking. You never truly 100% believe in something. And then also on the flip side, you never 0% disbelieve something. But I feel like a lot of times people they include the 0 and they include the 100 in that they 100% totally bona fide just believe in something or think that a certain thing is that way. And then also on the inverse, 0% chance that something is true, 0% that this could ever be, completely just write something off. And I feel like the pitfalls of that, you are entering the territory of absolute. The reason why I bring up this idea of 1 to 99 instead of 0 to 100 is that you're always leaving a little bit of wiggle room to either be disproven, to change your perception on something. Without that, it's like you're not giving room to possibility. And it could carry over to very simple things to very important things. And I like to think that I'm not married to my own ideas. I do think that there should be some level of conviction to the things that you've either researched or has spent your whole life believing in. But I see a little bit of danger in just being in that 100 territory, that 100 of like absolute belief of something. And if you are in that territory, like I almost envy you that I just don't know if I could ever enter that realm of undeniable belief in something, whether that's your purist at food and you never do Hawaiian pizza. Maybe it's more of just like a healthy practice to not be married to your ideas because you're opening yourself up to the possibility of changing your mind or someone coming along who just has like a really good logic or a really good argument for something. But if you're not open to it, then you may miss out. But if you walk around so stubborn that you're just like, no, there's no way this thing could ever be true, or there's no way this thing could ever be disproven, then it's like you're not even really allowing room for that. And I would say that there's humility in that, in acknowledging that you may not have it figured out. I think a big part of that has definitely helped me, at least in terms of like food and like cooking. I think for the longest time I was just like, I hate broccoli, like, which is like how many people hate broccoli. I'm sure a lot. How many people love broccoli? I'm sure also a lot. And then it got to a point to where I would force myself to eat it just because I know it's good for me. I don't like it, but let me just force myself to eat it. Maybe it wasn't that I ever disliked it. Maybe it was just like my perception of it. Or maybe I was just in that 100 range of just being like, I hate it. Like I'm never eating it. I'm never trying it. But then like if I brought myself down to that 99 range where I was like, okay, well, I'll at least eat it, even though I don't like it. And then I feel like that kind of evened me out and opened me up to the possibility of actually eating it, enjoying it. And then so like taking that elsewhere, it's like, do I really believe in this thing? Or am I really, really, really sure in this stance? And then maybe I just haven't had someone come along with a good enough reasoning to make me doubt myself. How arrogant is that to as a human where we're so imperfect. I feel like lately we've all tried to become experts in everything, in things that we have no reason to be experts in. A lot of our stances are just so firm. I don't think that's a bad thing. Like if you believe in something, you should kind of have that level of conviction to back it up, to defend it, but also carry with you the ability to surrender sometimes. And what if you just haven't experienced the right ones? Not right, but a certain blend of experiences that would point you in different directions. And being able to communicate with other people who have had different experiences may shed light on something that, maybe you're like, oh shit, like I really didn't think about it that way. Or I've never had to be in a situation that made me think in a certain light. But if you walk around super hard, like 100% conviction, 100% steadfast, it's like you'll never get that opportunity to realize like, oh shit, like fair enough, I yield, good point. Even if you act out the steps as if you're hearing someone out, as if you want to be persuaded, even if you just get in that mindset, maybe you might still hear something different that you would have been otherwise deaf to. Maybe arguments would go a lot smoother. I think it could be beneficial to put yourself in that headspace when engaging in a debate or argument, or even just like a silly conversation of what goes on pizza. Letting yourself be challenged so that way you can grow from that. Letting your ideas be critiqued and challenged and be poked at, and find where the weaknesses are and strengthen them. Hey, listen, like I love Hawaiian pizza. I get it. Sometimes when they make it, the juices of the pineapple kind of spread on the thing. I get it, but I still like it. Or on the inverse of being like, I hate Hawaiian pizza. That's so stupid. How could you ever like that? It's not sacred anymore. You've defiled the pizza. But it's like, you know what I mean? Even having that like that nuance, and I think it even kind of like dulls the blade of a conversation in a good way. But I think if we can get away from 0 and 100 and operate in this 1 to 99 range where you're always leaving yourself opportunity to either be proven something or to be disproven. And there's 4 basic propositions in defense of freedom of expression. An opinion may contain truth, and if one silences opinion, the truth may be lost. There may be a particle of truth within a wrong opinion. If the wrong opinion is suppressed, the particle of truth may be lost. Even if an accepted opinion is the truth, the public tends to hold it not on rational grounds, but as a prejudice unless forced to defend it. A commonly held opinion loses its vitality and its effect on conduct and character if it is not contested from time to time. You can apply this to opening yourself up to not be so 100% dead set on something, but there may still be truth into a different opinion that may either whittle down your own or just allow for you to kind of yield a little bit of space to acknowledge like, okay, that's a fair point. You're right. I definitely agree with that aspect of it, but it as a whole, I still kind of feel this way about it. And I think giving ground to each other, I think is the real takeaway. And opening yourself up to the ability to give ground, I think will make conversations and talks just a lot more smooth.